This morning I participated in some investigative journalism, partly for the movie reviews, but mostly because I'm nosy. Did you hear about the scandal involving Love Lies Bleeding? Because I did. So here's the deal. Love Lies Bleeding came out on March 8th, and then like that same weekend some guy got arrested for smoking his hog, if you will, during the screening. Now, we only have one confirmed report of it happening, but if I'm not mistaken, I read a couple of reports, and I'm not certain as to whether it was all about the same dude or if it were different instances. But even one is too many. Which led me to find out why this man was paying for Mr. Kleenex's children to go to college. So off I went to watch Love Lies Bleeding, and thankfully, I was the only one in the theater. Although I was coming into the theater as the preview for The Omen was playing, and the Omen music while you're walking down that little hallway is scary as shit. Especially when you find out you're the only person in the theater once you get in there. Anyway, let's get into Love Lies Bleeding. Full spoilers, all the spoilers. Spoilers, you can scroll if you need to. I'm not offended. Spoilers. Alright, let's go. So Kristen Stewart works in a gym, and she meets this new girl in town who wants to be a bodybuilder, and she's training to be in this bodybuilding show in Las Vegas. Well, the first night they meet, they're hanging out in the gym after hours, and then Kristen Stewart just casually brings out a whole thing of fucking steroids. She's like, if you're gonna do a bodybuilding competition, you should try some of this. All the guys in here do it. It was so nonchalant. It was so, like, there was no stigma around it. She's like, yeah, the guys buy this stuff all the time and they leave it around. It's completely free. You can have it. And so Jackie, who's the bodybuilder lady, tries a little bit, and then they have softcore sex. And then there becomes like this weird montage of like hardcore sex and shooting up with steroids and a little bit of working out, and we're gonna do it all over again. Oh, and then there's some body horror because you can hear like her muscles like stretching and shit, and her veins doing weird vein things, and you can see it. And I was like, oh. So the thing is, the gym that Kristen Stewart works in is owned by her dad, who's some kind of gang lord, weapons lord. He collects bugs, and he runs weapons into Mexico, which, like, they show a brief shot of, but it doesn't go anywhere. I'm going with gang lord. But her gang lord dad, who's Ed Harris, and, like, the world's most awful bald cap / wig. He also owns the firearms club that Jackie works at. You know, later on, so she can pay for the rest of her steroids and her bodybuilding competition. Anyways, yes, now Jackie is heavily involved in that whole family. Well, one day, Kristen Stewart's sister gets beaten into basically a coma by her stupid husband. And Jackie, in complete roid rage, goes over, picks this puny man up, and just yeets with her bare hand. In complete, I guess it was roid rage. I mean, it looked like the Incredible Hulk picking up Loki in the first Avengers. When he's just, like, slamming him, and he's like, puny god. That's what it looked like. And then Kristen Stewart finds out, and she's like, okay, we're gonna cover this up. We're gonna make it look like my dad did it so we can get him the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, Jackie has gone completely overboard with, well, I guess any amount is overboard on steroid injections, but definitely, like, over her level of, I guess, competency, or whatever you want to call it, because she's in complete roid rage, like, all the time now. She beats the shit out of one of the contestants at the bodybuilding show that she wasn't even supposed to go to, because she's supposed to lay low, but she broke out of the house. And then the rest is gunfights, which I couldn't care less about that part. I really could not. Oh, and then she grows gigantic, so she really does look like the Incredible Hulk at that point. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, she's holding Ed Harris in, like, one hand. And then they take off. That's pretty much it. Nope, I lied. There's one more thing you need to know, but if weird sex things grosses you out, cover your ears. Or scroll, that's okay too. Kristen Stewart puts a toe in her mouth. Puts 2 toes in her mouth. I was not prepared for that. There was nothing in this movie that indicated that was going to happen. Here's the thing. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know where to put this because I feel like I watched 2 different movies at the same time. Like, I don't feel like the story needs the whole thing about the dad being some kind of gang lord, weapons lord, whatever. You could have just had her committing murder through roid rage. We could have delved into that. I think that would have been a really cool thing to, like, investigate, I guess, would be the word for it. And that's the thing for me for this one. It could be great. I feel like it's on the very edge of being great. However, you took too much and you crammed too much into it, and now I'm confused and you've lost me. Especially when you can see what kind of damage Jackie can do on her own hand without the need of any kind of firearm. You know, shootouts in movies are a dime a dozen. How often do we see a film with a female bodybuilder who's capable of doing some really hardcore damage in a film? I'm gonna give it like a 6.5 out of 10. That's what I gave Immaculate because I feel like it didn't get a whole story. That's what you're gonna get because you gave me 2 different stories. So 6.5 out of 10. Okay, bye. Also, I thoroughly regret eating Takis and Easter candy in a bodybuilder movie. I am strong, strong, I am invincible, invincible, I am woman!